So now just a little swim, a little ride, and a little run.
Yeah,
Easy.
easy.
Well, it was a tough day in the ocean, that's for sure, out in the swim. Worst conditions that I've ever seen in my very short and limited time as a triathlete, and yeah, really big swell, very choppy, swimming across at a weird angle to the waves too, so just the whole thing was diabolical. So it was like my swim was 52 minutes, which is super slow. Normally I'm doing 1.9 Ks in somewhere between 35 and 40 minutes, depending on the conditions. So yeah, really, really slow swim. Everyone hated the swim, so it wasn't just me.
Post-game interview.
That was tougher than I thought.
Yeah.
That wind was...
Yeah, the wind along the coast is just brutal.
On the bike, that swim was just...
Yeah, the tracker was like 20 minutes ahead and it showed you on the beach area like at 30 minutes and I'm like, fuck, he's destroying it out there.
Oh no,
and then
I was being destroyed.
Oh.
That was the toughest swim I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
A lot of water was taken on board and yeah. Oh. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's done. It was like 6:20.
No, like 6:40 I think.
Are you sure? I think you're 6:20. Unless your timer shows
fast as I would have liked.
6:20.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Well, considering the swim was 15 minutes slower than I normally would swim.
Yeah.
So overall, it was a good day. I was really happy with certain components of my day, and like the ride went exactly according to plan, basically 2 hours 48 minutes for 90 kilometers, which I'm pretty happy with. And it was windy too, so it was like 20 to 40 kilometer an hour winds. Luckily, it was all over the place in terms of the direction of the course. So sometimes you had a bit of a headwind, sometimes you had a bit of a tailwind, so it kind of feel like it balanced out, except for the ride back. The last 10 kilometers was all into a headwind, which was pretty brutal, but all in all averaged 32.6 kilometers an hour or something like that, which is just a smidge under the 33 I was aiming for. But I think what it did show is that my ride is like getting to the point where I need it to be. I think with a little bit more practice, a little bit more weight loss, I can easily be holding 35 to 38 kilometers an hour. So I think I'm pretty happy with how I'm tracking there, and I was very happy with the results on the day, and got off the bike feeling pretty fresh still. Like my legs certainly weren't burned. I had actually eased myself a little bit in the last half hour of the ride just to make sure that I didn't get a bit over exuberant and punish myself too much. So I was pretty happy with the ride. As I said about the swim, that was not, you can just sort of cross that one off the list because it was just atrocious conditions, and I was just happy to get through it. The run, so the run was the interesting part of the day in terms of performance, because it was still very windy, and again, tailwind in one direction, headwind in the other. So which I haven't run a lot like that, and it was interesting to run. But the biggest thing I think for me was the fueling strategy. So on the bike, fueling went great. I think I had about 280 grams of carbs in the ride. So heaps of fuel in the ride. And I also had chew, so I had 30 grams straight out of the water whilst I was transitioning. So let's call it 300 grams of carbs in the ride. So pounded them in, did well. About 5Ks into the run, had a stitch, and I just kind of struggled a little bit getting food into me from that point. So I think I need to do a lot more practice in terms of fueling while running, because I basically got through the second half of that race on flat Coke and water and ice. And that's not enough for a full Ironman. Like I was able to get through the half, obviously, but I need to work out what I can put into myself and hold a good pace. So, because basically it was like 2 hours, 20 minute run or something along those lines. And really I walked probably 2 kilometers of that 21 kilometers. So the sub 2 hours is definitely there given everything going right. But I think coming off the ride with all flow gel, going straight into the run, my body just doesn't seem to, didn't work well this time. So I'm going to do some more practice in that space and see what I can work out, whether I need more real food in me or try some other options. So, but anyway, it was a good learning. I finished the race strong in terms of running. I was off my pace that I wanted. I wanted to do a 5:50 pace per kilometer, and I was out at about 6:20 on average, but obviously that included some walking too. So when I was running about 6 minutes to 6:10 per kilometer, which I was okay with on the day. But so I know that the capability is there now. It's just lose some more weight and I'm sure that it will come, and I just need to work on that fueling strategy. So, but all in all, I was still pretty happy on the day. 6:20 overall for the Half Ironman, and I still felt pretty good. I mean, my legs were a bit burnt by the end of it, but nothing too dramatic. And I really feel like if I had fueled better, I could have brought that run in quite a bit. And obviously, the conditions on the day, you don't get any control over those. I think if it had been dead flat and, well, it was dead flat on the ride, sorry, but if the wind had been flat, if I had just had a nice calm day, I really think I could have probably knocked another 10 minutes off my ride in the first place. And maybe, I don't know, we'll see how we go with the running. The marathon, which is my next big milestone in the middle of February, I need to work on my fueling so that I can finish that out strong. But I was pretty happy with how I finished out the run. Didn't walk across the line, was still running, still had a little bit left in me. So I was happy in that sense. All in all, pretty happy. And I'm glad I did the half. It's a different kind of event compared to the full. The whole thing felt a bit off. I would definitely suggest you do a half first and then do the full, because the half after the full seems a bit anticlimactic. But I tell you, the people who did the full on that day, they earned it, because as I came in from my run at, I don't know, 12, during the day, a big storm rolled in, the wind was blowing God knows what. It poured rain for a while, and they would have all been out on the ride. So they really earned their full Ironman that day. So hats off to them. They did a fantastic job. And if that was your first full Ironman on that day, you earned your medal, that is for sure. So, but yes, I don't know if I'll do another half again, but we'll see. So next focus point is the marathon that's coming up. I've got a very big announcement next week. Plans have changed for next year, and I'm excited and scared all at the same time. So I will put that video together now so that I can announce what we're doing next year, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support so far in this journey, and don't forget to take the next right.